let's take a look now in the Mishnah and see what's going on. Page 35b, 1. Lamed Hey Amud Bet. Okay. This Mishnah discusses another case in which a shomer may profit from the deposited item. Socher paramechavero, if one grants a cow from his fellow. So you're going to have to go back to the old days. Forget about the car for a moment, speaking about a cow. But the same thing applies for other type of object as well. So here it's a cow. Ve'ish'ila le'acher, and the renter lent it to another to use for the duration of the rental. So here we already have a case. Let's use an example. Susan, you're the owner of the cow. And you are renting the cow for $20 a day to Nir. Is that a good deal? Nir accepts. He's renting the cow. Now, you can do, since you've paid for the cow, you can do whatever you want with the cow. Right? You can use it. Including in that is you can actually also do a favor to Harry. He needs a cow to plow the field, and you say, you know, I actually just rented a cow. I'm not using it today. You might as well use it. So he's now becoming a borrower, but a borrower of who? Of Nir, of the renter. Following? Now what happened? Umeita kedarka. And it subsequently died a natural death, unrelated to its work. So it just happened to be its time. And sadly, the cow died. Not related to the work. So it isn't that you kind of overworked it and did something that caused her death. No, it just, was peacefully drinking some water, eating some grass, and Hashem decided...
They say that you die in harness. And then
right, Hashem decided that here came the time, it finished its mission in this world, and it died. It died in your possession. So before we go ahead with the law over here, with the opinions, what do you think happens? So first of all, what is the definition of Harry? What type of shomer is he? What type of custodian is he? What level of liability? Sure. Which means that now Harry, sorry to say that, but you're going to have to pay the cow. Because you are a borrower, although you didn't do anything, and nothing happened, it was out of your control. Very good. That's the question. To whom are you paying the cow? That's one question. The other question I have is, after the rental is done, Susan comes and says to you, so where is the cow? And he says, well, sad news to you is that while it was rental period, one day I actually lent it to Harry, my friend, and it died there. So there is no cow. Now let's say, forget if it was by you. If the cow was by you, if the cow wasn't by Harry when it died, are you liable to pay?
It's unseen.
Unseen. It's out of control. So whether you, the socher, you are like a paid custodian or like an unpaid custodian, whatever the case would be, you are patur be'unseen. You are exempt from that degree of liability of anything that is out of control. So here's an interesting situation. You are exempt from paying to Susan. But Harry is liable to pay. To who?
The question is if the renter is the new owner.
The renter is not the new owner.
renter is shocher.
The renter is the renter. So take a look. It becomes a very interesting situation here. Yishava asocher shemeta kedaka. The renter shall swear to the owner that the cow died naturally, thereby absolving himself from liability. And then ve'ashoel yishalem lasocher. And the borrower, who is liable for this type of loss, must pay the value of the cow to the renter. So it turns out, Neil, you're the winner in this story. You made a good deal.
For $20.
For $20 a day, eventually the cow is worth, let's say, $1,000. He's going to have to pay to you the $1,000. Amar Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi says, Keitzad halo oses chora beparat chaver. How can that renter do business with his fellow's cow? Rabbi Yossi's got an argument here. He says, how can something that doesn't sit right with him? How can Nir, the renter, doing some business with Susan, the owner's cow? Okay? So, Susan is the owner of the cow. You are just renting it. You're a borrower, true, but it turns out that you, the renter, are making money with Susan's cow. Ella, tarzor paralabali. Rather, the value of the cow should be returned to its owner. So, Harry will have to pay, and eventually that payment will have to go to Susan.
Half of it or all of it?
All of it. You're going to have to pay it twice. So the question would be, and what the difference, what are the implications? This is up for discussion. Okay, we're not going to touch upon that today. Whether Harry is paying Nir and Nir is paying Susan, or whether Harry is paying directly Susan. But irrelevant to that, eventually the payment from Harry is going to have to go to Susan. In other words, we've got two opinions. First opinion is that Nir is exempt from paying, he's going to have to swear. And then Harry is going to have to pay Nir. Done. Second opinion is, Nir, you don't have to swear to exempt yourself. And Susan is going to deal directly with the borrower, and the borrower is going to have to pay. So you don't have to swear in the end. Okay? Because it's one of the two, right? It's either she gets back the payment, or if she doesn't, then you're going to have to swear to be exempt from payment. But it isn't necessary that you also swear to exempt yourself from the payment, because in any case she's going to receive payment from the borrower. So in fact, according to Rabbi Yossi, you won't have to swear, she will receive the payment from the borrower. So if I'm asking you the question now, to think for a moment, and try to understand between Chachamim and Rabbi Yossi, what is the root of their argument? So let me give you a little tip. Okay, let me give you a little tip. When would you say that Nir, the renter, gets the right of the payment of the cow? At one point would you say that the renter gets the right of that payment?
The unseen death
No, okay.
will, the unseen, in the unseen case, I don't need to pay her anything, but she has to pay me. So I'm entitled for the money.
Okay. So at time of death or the time that you swear?
Oh. When I swear.
When you swear.
Yeah.
At the moment as you're swearing, you're saying that you would now acquire the right of the payment.
Yeah.
Once I swear I'm exempted from paying her, there's no question about that. It's only about if I want to swear or not. If I don't want to swear, then he pays her. If I swear, then he pays me. But it's the same if the cow died with me, in the unseen case, it would be the same. If I don't want to swear, I pay her the $1,000. If I swear, I don't pay her. So it's not related to me.
Very good, well said. So you're saying that
So what?
in any case, you are dealing with the payment, meaning you should receive the payment from the borrower. The borrower doesn't have anything to do with Susan. Susan really, the owner, just rented. She has a renter, that's all. And the renter gets the right of the payment when he swears, meaning when he swears, and therefore is exempt to pay. Naturally the payment will go to him. If so, if that's the case, can Susan say, I don't need you to swear. I don't want you to swear. I want to release you from your obligation of swearing.
Okay.
If she can say that, then the payment goes to her. If we say now that you acquired payment when the cow died, then it's irrelevant, swearing, not swearing, then obviously the payment will go to you in any case. That's the opinion of Chachamim. The opinion of the rabbi is that when the cow died, at that point you acquire the right of the payment. So you're going to swear to Susan. You don't have to pay to Susan. And you acquire the right of the payment for this cow because he's your borrower at the time of the death. That's the opinion of Chachamim. Rabbi Yossi says like this: when did you acquire the right of the payment? Not when the cow died. You acquire the right of the payment when you are swearing. This is what he said. You can do business really with the cow of your friend. You cannot acquire the right of the payment for the cow at the time of death. You can acquire that when you exempt yourself from paying by swearing. If you exempt yourself from paying by swearing, then you kind of disconnected any relationship of the owner to that cow, and therefore the payment will be, you will acquire the right of that payment. If you say that, says Rabbi Yossi, Susan can, and this is what happened, Susan can ask you not to swear. She has control over that. She can say, you do not swear. I don't need you to swear. And if she said that, then you have never acquired the right of the payment. Then the payment will go back to the owner.
So does this swearing happen at the time that the loan happens, or is it the time of
the death?
No,
after it died, so you come back and to the renter, say, where's my cow? So it died. She says, swear that it died.
Okay, so that's...
Right? And he swore that it died. At that point, he, according to Rabbi Yossi, he acquires the right of the payment. So you can say, and this is what's going to happen, you could say to me, you don't need to swear. I don't want you to swear. And automatically the payment will go towards you. He never acquired the right. The Gemara discusses the rationals for the Mishnah's ruling. Omar le Ravidim Baravin le Abaye, Ravidi Baravin commented to Abaye, Mirdi socher b'makane lehaypar. Now, with what act did the renter acquire that cow, so that he's entitled to the borrower's payment? Bishvua, with the oath that he swore to the owner that he is not liable. So when he swore to the owner, he acquires the payment for that cow. So it says, V'nemar lemaskil socher beled, the owner tell the renter, Dal ant v'dal shvuatech. Eliminate yourself and eliminate your oath. Meaning, I release you from liability. Ve'ana mishta'ina dina behad shoel. And I shall litigate directly with the borrower. So Omar le'Abaye told them, Mi sovrat socher bishvu de kakanela. Do you think that it is with an oath that the renter requires the cow? Mishat mito nekanei. No, he acquires it automatically from the time of the animal's death. Ushvua, and the purpose of the oath, kedelehafi is that shel balabayit, is only to appease the owner, so that he will not charge the renter with negligence. Hence, it is impossible for the owner to prevent the renter from acquiring the cow, and with it, the borrower's payment. Okay? So, the Gemara doesn't tell us, this is the argument between Rabbi Yossi and the Chachamim. How does the Gemara formulate the logic? The Gemara asks a question to the rabbis. Meaning, the rabbi said that the payment goes to the renter. Ask the Gemara, ask Ravidi Baravin. He says, well, how come? How come? If the renter assuming, and the Gemara assumed first, that the renter acquires the right of the payment at the time of the oath, if it is when he swore that he acquires the payment, then the owner can say, I release you from the oath, I release you from liability, I'll deal straight with the borrower. Answer the Gemara, the opinion of Chachamim is not that the renter acquires the right at the time of the oath, it is rather that he acquires the time from the time of death. And if that's the case, then the maskil, the owner, has got no way to kind of release or kind of deal with the borrower, kind of deal with the payment directly, because he's got no connection with the payment in the first place. The payment's right was acquired by the renter at the time of death. What is the shvua? The shvua is just so the renter can state clearly, and this is what we have to know, that this wasn't due to your negligence. So you swear that this was not due to my negligence, it died out of control, so that exempts you from any payment, obviously, and that's all. But when did you acquire payment for the cow? From the time of death. Therefore, why should that payment go to the owner? And the owner has no way to get that payment to it. That is the opinion of the rabbi. So now we understand in a way, from how the Gemara questions and answer, that the Gemara's answer is the opinion of the rabbi. The Gemara's question, the logic of the Gemara's question, must be now the opinion of Rabbi Yossi. This is what Rabbi Yossi holds. Rabbi Yossi holds exactly as the Gemara questioned, that the right for payment were acquired to the renter at the time of the oath by swearing. And Rabbi Yossi will tell you, well, if that's so, any maskin will exempt the socher, the renter, from swearing it, and therefore will get the payment straight from the borrower. So let's take a look now in the Mishnah and see what's going on. Page 35b, 1. Lamed Hey Amud Bet. Okay. This Mishnah discusses another case in which a shomer may profit from the deposited item. Socher paramechavero, if one rents a cow from his fellow. So you're going to have to go back to the old days. Forget about the car for a moment, speaking about a cow. But the same thing applies for other type of object as well. So here it's a cow. Ve'ish'ila le'acher. And the renter lent it to another to use for the duration of the rental. Here we already have a case. Use it. Including in that is you can actually also do a favor to Harry. He needs a cow to plow the field, and you say, I actually just rented a cow. I'm not using it today. you might as well use it. So he is now becoming a borrower, but a borrower of who? Of need, of the renter. Following? Now what happened? Oops. Let's use an example. Susan, you're the owner of the cow. And you are renting the cow for $20 a day to Neil. Is that a good deal? Neil accepts. He's renting the cow. Now, you can do, since you've paid for the cow, you can do whatever you want with the cow. Right? Umeta kedaka. And it subsequently died in natural death, unrelated to its work. So it just happened to be its time. And sadly, the cow died. Not related to the work. So it isn't that you kind of overworked it and did something that caused her death. No, it just, was peacefully